All right, good afternoon, everybody. Here live from the Crisler Center. You are listening to WCBN Sports, a packed Crisler Center at that, for a top 10 matchup between the 7th-ranked Michigan Wolverines and the 10th-ranked Michigan State Spartans. My name is Nick Hornburg. Alongside me, Andy Laidlaw. For this first half, Evan Oesterle and Nate Sorensen will join us for the second. And starting lineups being announced now. Andy, I know this means a lot to you, a young man from East Lansing.
Well, this is the basketball game that everybody in the state looks forward to. We always hear about Duke and North Carolina as a great rivalry. It is. It's probably the best rivalry in college basketball. But this is the second best rivalry. Every year, this is the one game that is circled. On both schedules, Michigan circles Michigan State and Michigan State schedules Michigan. This is a rivalry, and this is a game that has a lot to do with the Big Ten standings and how the rest of the year is going to shape up.
Indeed, very likely that this game will have a massive hand in deciding who will come away. Starting five, four-year player Nick Ward lost for this game, potentially for the season after suffering a broken hand.
Yeah, Nick Ward, gosh, I mean, Nick Ward's excellent. Last year, Michigan was able to beat Nick Ward. They could double down on him, make him pass the ball, and he wasn't great at that. But that is one thing that Nick Ward has developed a lot this year. He could get the ball in a double team and could look opposite and make great passes. This is big for Michigan not having Nick Ward, because he was the one guy I believe that was going to give Michigan a lot of trouble. And Michigan State not having him is big for the Wolverines today.
And of course, Michigan State, and this is on top of having lost Joshua Langford for the season a while back. However, the Spartans still have some dangerous playmakers on offense, most notably a player who is going to be an All-American this season in point guard Cassius Winston.
Yeah, Cassius Winston is excellent. I mean, we all hear about how great Cassius Winston is, and all the things we hear are absolutely true. The guy's a dynamic shooter. He's a great ball handler, and to me, honestly, I believe he's the best passer in college basketball. He has the 4th most assists in college basketball, and he has a great assist-to-turnover ratio. The thing that's going to trouble Cassius Winston today is Xavier Simpson. We look at Cassius Winston's stats in his career against Xavier Simpson. He has 11 points, 3.5 assists, and 2.5 turnovers. All of those stats are worse than his career averages over the course of his career. So Cassius Winston is going to have a lot of trouble with Xavier Simpson today, and that is my big matchup that I'm watching today. I personally believe these are the two best players in the Big Ten, Cassius, Xavier Simpson. Who's going to come out on top, and the person that does is probably going to lead their team to a victory.
And it'll make for one hell of a game as the Wolverines out in their 1989 comebacks, of course, the 30 years since.
Boy, do they look good.
Steve Fisher led that magical tournament run to the 1989 national title, and much of that team in the house tonight being honored in today's game. Michigan with their regular starting five of Simpson, Poole, Matthews, Brazdeikis, and Teskey. Michigan State, Cassius Winston, Aaron Henry, Matt McQuaid, Xavier Tillman, and Kenny Goins.
Yeah, Iggy and JP are going to have to score today. MSU is very fast. They get out in transition. They get a lot of early buckets. To match that, Iggy and JP are going to have to be efficient on the offensive floor.
And opening tip-off will be John Teskey versus Xavier Tillman. Michigan State has Kenny Goins on the opposite side, hoping for that first quick point, and it contested tip-off won by John Teskey. We are underway. Charles Matthews gives it to Xavier Simpson, who moves to his right. Give and go with Brazdeikis. Now to Teskey at the top. Goes to Matthews to the left. Brazdeikis at the top. Back to Teskey. Michigan hesitant to attack the paint so far. Jordan Poole moves across to the center. Jordan Poole pulls up for a long three, and off the front of the rim, rebound by Kenny Goins. And now Cassius Winston has the ball. Give and go with Goins. Goins out to McQuaid on the corner. McQuaid cuts the baseline, and it is back to Xavier Tillman. Has a lot of space, opts to pass up the shot, gives it back to Cassius Winston.
Xavier Tillman has to shoot the ball in that situation. Wide open. He's got to shoot it.
And Tillman gives it off to Goins, and Goins wrestling with Charles Matthews, who forces the jump ball.
Big matchup today. We see Kenny Goins line up and Ignas Brazdeikis. Iggy's got to take Kenny Goins off the dribble. Kenny Goins cannot match Iggy's speed. He's got to get that going.
And Michigan State with the possession arrow and the inbound quickly to Kenny Goins. Goins off to McQuaid for three, tries to get the foul, and he gets it. Charles Matthews for the first foul of the game, and Michigan State will have the opportunity to jump out to a quick lead in this game with Matt McQuaid about to shoot three.
Big mistake for the Wolverines early so far. John B9 loves to get a guy out if he gets a foul before that first TV timeout. Charles Matthews just picked up that foul, and you see Isaiah Livers now checking at the table. Bad foul for Charles Matthews, especially on a three-pointer.
And Matt McQuaid makes the first free throw. The Spartans score the first point of the game, 1-0.
Yeah, it's like I said, three-point shooter like Matt McQuaid. You're going to have to close out, but you can't be aggressive because if he goes to the line, he's probably going to make all of them. He's a great free throw shooter.
And Matt McQuaid misses the second one. He jinxed him, Andy.
As soon as I said that, woo!
And as you said, Beeline's auto bench rule in full force already. Charles Matthews going to the bench inside of 60 seconds from the start of the game. Isaiah Livers making his first appearance.
Like I said, Beeline loves to take out guys if they get a foul for that first TV timeout.
And McQuaid misses the third one, and a rebound by Brasdakis. And McQuaid only gets one. And Xavier Simpson takes a quick instruction from Beeline. Not something we've been used to watching from the team this season. Beeline usually lets him go for the first couple minutes. And Livers gives it off to Teskey. Give and go with Simpson. Shot clock halfway down. Simpson looking to drive. Off the screen from Teskey. Simpson off to Livers. Now Simpson back up top. Guarded by Tillman. Simpson drives. Hook shot. And it does not go. Brasdakis with the offensive rebound. And the foul. And it's down.
Big rebound, John Teskey, baby. That's what he does. Great offensive rebound. He got a mismatch with Aaron Henry. He got the rebound, took advantage of it. He's going to the line. Beautiful work by the Michigan Wolverines. Pick and roll. Get the switch. Get the mismatch. And get a bucket.
And I said Brasdakis. I was incorrect. You are right, Andy. It was John Teskey.
Yeah, John Teskey's really developed his game at the free throw line. Him and Xavier Simpson both have improved.
And Teskey makes it. Michigan up 3-1. And now quick ball from Goins to Cassius Winston. Winston at the top. Gives it off to Tillman. Tillman to Goins. Goins pulls up for three, and it goes. Michigan State out front again, 4-3.
Yep, that's totally in his arsenal. You have to stretch out. He is willing to stretch the floor and hit a three, as he just did right there for the Spartans.
And Xavier Simpson moves to his right, slowing it down a bit. John Teskey looking to set a screen, and Simpson ultimately takes. Teskey goes the other way. Simpson back to Brasdakis, and it's tipped away by Goins, and now scramble for the ball on the ground. Brasdakis tries to get it off to Simpson, and Simpson ultimately able to recover. Simpson off to Poole, to Livers from the corner for three. Good!
Great ball movement by the Wolverines right there. Simpson bouncing off the pass, shutting out the Livers.
Aaron Henry from just in front of the free throw line, and it goes. Michigan State ties the game at 6.
As I was saying earlier, much like the North Carolina Tar Heels, they make a basket, they're going to go out and run. State's going to go out and run, and they got a bucket there.
And give and go with Brasdakis at the top. Now to Livers. Livers moves to his right off the screen from Teskey. Livers from the top for three. Does not go, but a rebound by Teskey and the foul.
That's a big thing for the Wolverines today. John Teskey at 7 foot is going to have a clear height advantage against everybody on Michigan State. Xavier Tillman, he's only 6'8". Kenny Goins is only 6'7". He's got clear height advantage over both of those guys. And expect Teskey to get a lot of rebounds today.
And John Teskey, already 1 for 1 from the free throw line, will shoot two as the Maze Rage waving a cardboard cutout of Tom Izzo's head as Michigan State's mercurial longtime head coach having a word with the head referee.
It's a rivalry, man. We're going to hear some things. We're going to see some energy today, and Maze Rage is going to bring it.
And Teskey hits the first one as Tom Izzo goes to the bench for the first time, and in comes
Kyle Arns. Looks like Kyle Arns checked in.
And John Teskey with an opportunity to go 3 for 3, and he does. Michigan back up 8-6. And now Cassius Winston going the other way. The Spartans, Winston to Tillman. Tillman back to Goins. Goins marked by Brasdakis. Now Winston. Winston will drive, get some space against Simpson. Now back to Goins at the top. And Goins gives it off to Winston. Now Winston tries to move in, looking for a passing lane, and that will be Goins out to Tillman in the post against Teskey. Tillman will go up, and did Teskey get a hand on it? No, he didn't, but it doesn't make it to the rim.
Absolute beautiful defensive possession there for both John Teskey and Iggy Brasdakis. Showed great off the screen, stopped him, hedged the screens, and got a great possession.
Simpson delivers to Brasdakis. Brasdakis moves. John Teskey trying to set a screen. Iggy for three. Goes!
Big bucket for Iggy. Like I said, on Kenny Goins, he's got to take advantage of that matchup.
That was actually a 2 just in front of the three-point line. Aarons gives it off to McQuaid. McQuaid looking for space. Gives it off to Winston off a screen. Winston back to Goins. Goins for another 3. Does not go, but an offensive rebound by Matt McQuaid. And now Winston. Brasdakis switched on him. Screen set by Tillman. Winston decides to drive. Winston back to Goins. And Goins at the wing. Goins to Tillman. Tillman looking for some space. Gives it back to Cassius Winston. Winston looking to move. Now doubled by the bigs, and some space for Tillman. John Teskey vacated the space, and an easy dunk.
Yeah, you could tell Michigan's putting a lot of emphasis on Cassius Winston. They're hedging super hard on screens, gave him the ability for the screener to roll and get an easy bucket like Xavier Tillman just got right there.
And Michigan bleeding a little bit time. Xavier Simpson had to retie his shoe as Teskey gives it to Brazdakis on the right wing. Now to Poole. Dangerous pass there. And Poole guarded by Tillman.
Mismatch.
Poole to Simpson. Simpson with some space. Simpson from three from the left, and it does not go, but foul called on Kyle Ahrens against John Teskey. Michigan State already up to 3 fouls. And the first media timeout of the game.
Good start for the Wolverines. They're getting out playing great defense. You can tell, like I said, there's a huge emphasis on Cassius Winston. They're hedging high over screens, letting that screener, who was in that case Xavier Tillman, get under, get an easy bucket. But that's fine. We all know how great Cassius Winston is. If Michigan can hold Cassius Winston to a 12, 13, 14-point game, Michigan's got a very good chance of winning this ballgame.
And John Teskey leads the whole field in scoring with 5 points so far, 1 layup from the field, plus 3 free throws. Also with 3 rebounds to go with it, 2 of them on the offensive glass. 2 absolute huge offensive rebounds that he converted into 5 points. That's big. We know Michigan State's always been a great rebounding team. That's what Tom Izzo does, and he's always done that. But if Michigan can somehow out-rebound Michigan State, that is a huge advantage over that Michigan State Spartans team. And now a brief lull in the game. Cassius Winston with no points and 1 assist.
Hasn't even took a shot yet. That just shows, like I said earlier, Xavier Simpson, people rip on me all the time. Hornburg, this is my take. I honestly believe that Xavier Simpson is the best player in the Big Ten. He is seriously the most complete player out of anybody in the field. Can he pass? Yes. Can he shoot? He's developing a much better three-point shooting game. Can he rebound? He is very good rebounder for his height, and we all know how exceptional of a defender he is. There's not many players in basketball that have a complete skill set like Xavier Simpson has.
Xavier Simpson also known for coming up big in big games where he's needed. Of course, the triple-double against Ohio State.
Huge.
Yep. Friendly reminder, Xavier Simpson got 10 rebounds despite being 6 feet tall.
Exactly. Like I said, for his height, he is such a great rebounder. He knows how to box out. He knows how to use his short size to an advantage to get those long, lengthy rebounds, and that's exactly what he does.
And now as the timeout chugs along, Isaiah Livers coming off the bench less than 60 seconds from the start of the game after Charles Matthews getting pulled for a foul. Livers 1 for 2 from the field. Both of those from beyond the arc. He has 3 points, which matches the Spartans' leading scorer stat for stat. Kenny Goins also 1 for 2, both shots from beyond the arc.
Yep, Kenny Goins in that big 3. Like I said, that is more than capable. He is more than capable of doing that. He showed that ability all year. He actually likes to take that. I compare him a lot like to John Teskey. That's his similar skill set offensively. He likes to be inside. It's bread and butter. He likes to be in the paint, but he has absolute the capability of stretching the floor and hitting the big 3.
And Andy, I don't know if you can see from here, Tom Izzo's head bobbing up and down as he's tearing into his team, of course.
Oh.
Coach been a legend of the state of Michigan, been around for about, I believe this is his 24th season. 24th season in East Lansing, of course, the one national title in 2000, Final Four berths in 05 and 09.
Yep. The national championship in 2000, I believe. Yep.
With Mateen Cleaves running the offense. Obviously, probably the best basketball coach in the history of the state of Michigan.
Yeah. That's the thing. When you compare Izzo to Beilein, Izzo has a longevity that Beilein doesn't have. But John Beilein does have the recent success.
Izzo, a surefire college football Hall of Famer, as the game resumes, and Simpson standing on the line to give off the inbound, looking for Brazdakis, and a 5-second violation called.
Can't happen. We got to get more ball screens to get over top, get under. Not a lot of movement there. There was a lot of movement, but there wasn't any ball screen set. Michigan's got to get better at setting ball screens. Otherwise, they can't get turnovers like that.
And Tom Izzo gives his standard fiery stamp of approval to a play like that. Of course, his Michigan State team's always led by the concept of hard work. And Winston plays a quick ball into Tillman. Tillman goes up against Teskey, and it rims in. Same
thing, like I was saying. Cassius Winston came off a ball screen. Teskey had to show. Tillman slipped and got the bucket.
And now Simpson goes the other way, gives it off to Livers. Now Poole at the top. Poole to Brazdakis. Brazdakis to Livers. Back up top now to Simpson on the left wing. Simpson moves. Teskey trying to set a screen. Simpson gives it to Livers. Over the top to Teskey. Teskey goes up and it goes.
Beautiful. Run a pick and roll. Get a mismatch. John Teskey on Cassius Winston. He's going to make that bucket 9 times out of 10.
15-10 left in the first half. Michigan up 12-10. Cassius Winston slowing it down. Simpson trying to reach, and now Winston goes in off a screen from Ahrens. Michigan defended the screen well, and now Winston goes the other way. Now to McQuaid. McQuaid fakes out Poole. McQuaid pulls up for three, and it goes. Michigan State back in the lead, 13-12.
That's his bread and butter. Get a ball fake, dribble out, hit a bucket. And that's what he did there. Got a little pump fake. Jordan Poole went up in the air and hit the bucket.
And now Xavier Simpson gives it off to Poole. Now to Livers. Livers looking for a passing lane. Ultimately decides to take himself to the top of the key. Livers lays off. Now to Simpson. Simpson will drive into the paint. Simpson with an underneath shot, and it goes.
Beautiful move. Like I said, Xavier Simpson's really improved his offensive game, and he took it to the rim right there and got a big bucket.
Matt McQuaid gives it off to Kenny Goins. Neither team making a substitution after that time out of that timeout as Cassius Winston off the screen from Tillman. Winston looks to drive all the way across to Goins, wide open for three, and another three for Kenny Goins. Michigan State out in front.
Iggy has to respect that ability. He's still sagging and letting Kenny Goins get that shot off, and now he's buried too. Iggy's got to learn, play more tight.
Teske off to Brazdakis at the top. Now to Livers. Simpson at the left corner. Back to Livers. Livers from the top for three, and Livers answers with a three of his own. Michigan back out in front, 17-16. And now a steal by John Teske off a bad pass from Cassius Winston. Now Livers will drive and tries to play a pass through the legs of Kenny Goins. Michigan gives it straight back. Cassius Winston going the other way. And Eli Brooks and Brandon Johns at the scorer's table for Michigan, along with, looks like Thomas Kittier for Michigan State. And Ahrens gives it off to McQuaid at the top. Now to Winston. Winston underneath to McQuaid. McQuaid slips and back to Goins. And the Masorade screaming for a travel. Winston will drive in on Teske, and Winston pulls up from 11 feet. It will not go. Rebound by Isaiah Livers, and Livers called for the travel, and Crisler Arena furious.
I don't know what they saw there. It sure looked like Livers got the rebound and put the ball right away. I don't know where that travel was. That's a interesting call, and it sure, like you were saying about the Masorade complaining, it sure looked like Matt McQuaid got the rebound, he slipped and fell, and he traveled. They didn't call it there. Interesting start. I mean, a big thing, Brandon Johns checking in. Went to East Lansing High School, right in the backyard of Michigan State. This would be an interesting game for Brandon Johns to see if he plays with a little bit of an edge today.
Charles Matthews and Eli Brooks in the game. And now Winston comes in. Michigan State also bringing in Thomas Kittier. And now Winston looking to drive. Winston goes up, and Cassius Winston gets his first points. And Eli Brooks plays a quick inbound to Simpson. And now Michigan going a little bit smaller without a true five. John Teske going to the bench, being replaced by Brandon Johns. Livers to Johns. Now to Matthews on the left wing. Matthews looking for a passing lane. Not a whole lot of movement by the Michigan offense. And now, as the shot clock bleeds away, Matthews looking to drive, and a foul called. I believe that was on Thomas Kittier.
Yep. Yeah, not a lot of offensive threats in this lineup right now. We know Livers can score. We know Matthews can score, but with Johns, Brooks, and Xavier, not a lot of scoring threats with Wolverine right now.
Eli Brooks plays it into Simpson. Teams have combined for 8 of their last 9. And Simpson tries to drive. Brandon Johns setting a screen, but good defense by Winston forces him back. Now Matthews looks to drive on Ahrens. Another excellent defensive play by Ahrens. And now Simpson pulls up for a long three, and it will not go. Brandon Johns can't corral the rebound. Ahrens to Winston. Now to McQuaid. McQuaid to Cassius Winston. Over the top to Goins on Matthews. That's a mismatch in his favor, and Goins will settle for the falling hook shot. And Michigan State up by 3. Xavier Simpson moves into the half court, gives it off to Eli Brooks. Now a give and go with Isaiah Livers.
Yeah, not exactly sure what Coach B is doing with this lineup right now.
Brazdakis,
not a lot of scoring options.
Brazdakis now at the scorer's table, ready to come back in.
There you go.
Simpson at the top of the key. Simpson will drive. Simpson tries to play, fakes the hook shot to Johns. Johns loses it in a steal by Kittier as Winston going the other way. And Cassius Winston. Teske moves over to the scorer's table. Winston drives. And a foul called on Brandon Johns.
Yeah, Cassius Winston he's getting it. He's starting to hit his form. Great drive there, went to Johns, got the foul. I don't know, Nick. I wasn't sure. I don't know what Coach B was thinking with that lineup there. They didn't have any scoring options. We had 3 horrible possessions on offense. Michigan's got to get better. You got to get Iggy back on the floor. Michigan's got to get Iggy back on the floor, get Matthews on the floor, Poole on the floor. Michigan's got to score. Not a lot of offense there in those last 2 possessions, but early on in the game, 17-20, 11:39 left. we'll see what goes on here next.
The under-12 timeout could not have really come at a better time. Michigan State on a little bit of a mini run. Michigan has not scored in the last 2 minutes and 13 seconds, and in that span they've committed 3 turnovers, while Michigan State, 6 of their last 7 from the field, and they're going to come out of this timeout with a 20-17 lead as Cassius Winston has an opportunity to shoot 2 free throws.
Yeah, everybody always talks about how Michigan's such a great defensive team, and that's true. Michigan is one of the best in the country, but you can't look past Michigan State's defense. Michigan State's defense is also exceptional. Cassius Winston is a very good on-ball perimeter defender, and nobody realizes Matt McQuaid is probably the second best defensive player in the Big Ten. He is exceptional. You're going to see him a lot on Jordan Poole today, and I'm not expecting anything great out of Jordan Poole because Matt McQuaid is such a great defender. We've seen him do very well in Carson Edwards. We've seen him do very well in Romeo Langford, 2 amazing Big Ten basketball players. Great perimeter defender. You're going to see a lot of forced shots, a lot of bad shots, and it's going to lead to a low-scoring game. So I don't expect this game to be very high-scoring.
And, of course, you say that the halftime Michigan State is on pace to score more than 40 in the first half. Yeah. And Michigan not really far off that pace.
Yeah. We're seeing a lot of big threes from Livers so far. He's got 2. Goins has got 2. That's where you're seeing a lot of the points, but you're still seeing a lot of forced shots, a lot of turnovers, and that's what both of these tough in-your-pants defenses is going to do.
Kenny Goins pacing the field and scoring with 8 points. John Teskey, the leading scorer for the Wolverines, with 7 as the media timeout moves along. And here's a scary sight. Charles Matthews looks like he's walking off into the locker room. Looks like he may have taken a hit. And now John Beilein has one less scoring option, probably his most athletically talented.
Yeah, that's big. And we all know Aaron Henry, the freshman from Michigan State out of Indianapolis, is a tremendous athlete. He's a very good rebounder, and he is an above-the-rim offensive player. He loves to slam it home. They love to throw lobs to him. And Charles Matthews was a guy that's going to defend that. Aaron Henry might have more space now to get available, drive to the rim, and finish above the rim. That's a big loss for the Wolverines. I didn't see anything. Did you, Nick?
No, I did not.
Curious to see what's wrong with Charles Matthews here. Hopefully it's not long term. Hopefully he's able to come back soon. We'll see, though.
And right on cue, Ignas Brazdeikis, Jordan Poole, and John Teskey all back in the game. The regular starting 5 with Eli Brooks out there instead of Charles Matthews.
Yep.
As Cassius Winston moves to the free throw line as both teams come out of their respective timeouts. And Michigan State substituting in Gabe Brown for his first action of the game.
Gabe Brown is a tremendous athlete out of Ypsilanti, Michigan, right in the backyard of Ann Arbor here. Great athlete, just like Aaron Henry's going to finish above the rim.
And Cassius Winston makes the second of 2 free throws, and Michigan State now up by 5. Brooks plays an inbound to Simpson, gives it back to Brooks. Brooks gives it to Teskey. Brazdeikis cuts to the hoop, but Teskey gives it off to Simpson. Teskey sets a pick. Simpson will pull up for a 3, and it goes!
Big shot, Xavier. If he can get Cassius Winston to come out to him, Cassius can get beat by Xavier going off the dribble.
And Cassius Winston, looking for a passing lane, gives it off to Kyle Ahrens. And Kyle Ahrens struggling on that dribble, but a tipped pass by Brooks, but Ahrens able to recover. And now Brown, Eli Brooks sagging off him a little bit, and Gabe Brown the height advantage. It gives it back to Winston on Simpson. And Winston looking for a passing lane. Winston moves off the screen from Xavier Tillman, and Winston goes all the way down to the baseline, and Michigan State gets their lead back out to 4.
Yeah, very, very poor hedge there by John Teskey. Cassius Winston went right around him. Teskey stayed on him, and Cassius still got the bucket.
And Beilein going with the youth once again. David DeJulius at the scorer's table for Michigan. Eli Brooks will move to the free throw line. Eli Brooks pulls up for 3, and it does not go, and Brazdeikis with the offensive rebound and some awful rim luck, and a rebound by Kyle Ahrens.
Very, very poor possession there by Eli Brooks. He does not need to force that shot.
And ball over the top to Tillman on Brooks. Massive mismatch, but triple marked. Kenny Goins for the 3, and it goes. Michigan State out in front by 7. And now, quick inbound, Brooks to Simpson, back to Brooks. And Brooks gives it off to Brazdeikis. Brazdeikis to Poole. Poole off a screen from Teskey. Poole will drive. Poole gives it back to Simpson. Simpson for another 3. Winston got in his face, and another 3 for Xavier Simpson.
So huge. Xavier Simpson Big-time players in big-time games play well. And that's exactly what Xavier Simpson is doing right now. He loves this challenge. He loves this rivalry.
More than halfway through the first half, Michigan State up 27-23. Kyle Ahrens at the top to Winston off a screen. And Xavier Tillman sets a screen. And Teskey forces Winston all the way over to the baseline, and a steal by Poole. Poole going the other way on Goins. Poole will go up, and it will go down.
Great possession there. That's what Michigan needs to do on Cassius Winston. Get to his face. Cassius is a great passer. He loves to facilitate the basketball, but he is turnover prone. He has shown a lot of games where he turns the ball over. If Michigan get in his face, force him to turn the ball over, Michigan's got a great chance to win this basketball game. And that possession was beautiful there. They set a high ball screen. John Teskey showed absolute great defense and turned the ball over.
McQuaid and Kittier are back in. Poole's layup went down, but even if it hadn't, Ahrens was called for the goaltend, and Poole with another tip. Beautiful and out of bounds.
Beautiful hustle there by Jordan Poole. Cal Orange really hasn't done much this game. He's mainly used as a defender. He's a good perimeter shooter as well, but yeah, he kept the ball out to too long, and Jordan Poole swept it away.
McQuaid the inbound to Cassius Winston. Winston moves to his left. Simpson showing him that left side, and a screen set by Kittier, and Winston off to Tillman. Tillman over to Ahrens at the corner, and Ahrens airballs it, but an offensive rebound by Kittier. And now back to Winston. And Winston off the screen from Kittier. Winston for three, and off the back, and it will be a rebound by Teskey. Now Simpson has room to run. Simpson will hold it up, and DeJulius hits the floor.
Very, very good poise by Xavier Simpson to pull it out. They did have numbers, slow down the offense. Now they didn't get a good look.
And Simpson back to Poole. Poole, an NBA three, and off the front of the rim. And a rebound by Tillman. Cassius Winston going the other way.
Everything I just said about Xavier Simpson, Jordan Poole did not do. Did not need to force that bad shot.
Cassius Winston at the top to McQuaid off a screen. Long two, and it will not go. And a rebound by Browzdakis.
Very good box out by Iggy.
And Browzdakis to the right side. Browzdakis will hold up. Browzdakis for a long three. Good!
Big shot by Iggy. I love that it went in, Nick. I love the shot went in, but I do not like that look. They got to slow it down more. Iggy's not going to hit that shot all the time. Big make, but you got to get better shots.
I thought Tillman got a hand on Iggy's arm, but went down nonetheless. McQuaid with DeJulius switched on him. Winston over the top to Tillman. And Tillman to Ahrens. Ahrens marked by DeJulius. Ahrens goes up and does not go, but a foul called on David DeJulius.
Also, did not like that call. Ahrens was completely out of control. DeJulius is in good position, and they call a block on DeJulius. Don't like that call. Ahrens is out of control. To me, that's a no call. That call should not have been made. But anyway, before that possession, like I said, both Iggy and Xavier Simpson, they're guys who like to get out and run. But when you don't have numbers, you don't have to shoot. Same thing for Jordan Poole. When you don't have numbers, don't shoot. Iggy took that bad shot. Hey, it went in. I'm happy it went in, but he does not need to force that shot.
And now Tom Izzo uses his first timeout of the half, and it will be a full media timeout. Michigan up 28-27 off of an 8-0 run, and the 1964 Big Ten basketball champions being honored here at the Crisler Center right now. And we have a final score to report over in East Lansing. The Michigan women's basketball team losing by a score of 74-64 to the Michigan State Spartans, dropping them to 0-2 against the Spartans on the season. Michigan State will take the season series on that. Naz Hillman, a heroic effort and loss, 27 points, 11 rebounds as Michigan's 7-game win streak comes to an end. Now stand at 19-10 on the season. Will close the regular season against Wisconsin a week from today at the Crisler Center with an opportunity at an WNIT berth nearly assured, but an outside shot at an NCAA tournament berth going into the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, what about Naz Hillman, freshman coming this year? We all knew she's a highly talented recruit, but I didn't expect her to be this great this early, man. She has been fantastic.
Naz Hillman with some international under-17 experience coming into Ann Arbor. Hillman, the leading scorer and the leading rebounder for the Wolverines, despite the fact she does not start. And perhaps on a lighter note, Charles Matthews back out on the court for Michigan.
Good. That's big. The Wolverines need him. They need him for his defense. They need him for his ability to drive to the rim, finish, and also have the great possibility of dishing it out. Big for the Wolverines to get Charles Matthews back in the game.
And for those of you wanting to seek further coverage of Michigan women's basketball, feel free to look back on our in-season interviews with Kenray Johnson and Haley Brown, of course recorded in the last month, as well as an interview on Nicole Munger and what she had to say about the incoming freshman class back in November, as well as most recent article written on WCBNsports.org about the state of Michigan women's basketball in the post-Caitlin Flaherty era.
Heck yeah, we know that's how we do here at WCBN. We know we bring it all. We do it all. We know we cover women's, men's, we write, we give articles. That's all we do.
And Charles Matthews spoke too soon. He is back in the locker room. And
concerning. Very concerning for Wolverines. I wonder if he gave it to go. I wonder if he was stretched out in the locker room and something wasn't working right. And it's a big loss for the Wolverines if he's not able to come back.
Parting note on Michigan women's basketball, Kim Barnes-Arico, now the first coach in Michigan women's basketball history to hit 150 wins in Ann Arbor. Of course, a veteran, been around for 20 years. Michigan, her first job outside the New York area. Yeah, of course, the Long Island native.
Yeah, what a huge advantage for this Michigan school to have two phenomenal basketball coaches in both men's and women's.
And teams come out of the timeout, and Kyle Ahrens will have the opportunity to shoot two for Michigan. Michigan not choosing to make any subs as Ahrens ties the score, and it looks like Michigan State, Kenny Goins coming back in the game, as well as Xavier Tillman. And Charles Matthews' status changes by the second. He is back on the court on a bicycle. And Ahrens misses the second one, and a rebound by Jordan Poole. Good effort by Teskey there to tip it towards Jordan Poole as Xavier Simpson up top. Teskey moving to set a screen. Back to Teskey, and Teskey bobbles the pass but able to secure it. Jordan Poole cuts to the baseline. Poole goes up double marked and a block by Kyle Ahrens. And now Cassius Winston going the other way. Michigan State room to run. McQuaid to Winston. Goins sets a screen. And now Goins, Iggy segs off him but able to get back on him quicker to close off the three-point opportunity. And Winston marked by Simpson. Tillman will set a screen this time. Tillman gets to the basket. Winston goes all the way around, over the top to Tillman, and John Teskey did not see him.
Like I said, I honestly believe Cassius Winston is the best passing point guard in the country. He gets all the way under the hoop, throws it back to a great pass to Tillman, and boom, that's a bucket.
Isaiah Livers back at the scorer's table. Iggy Barazdakis up top with the basketball, off to Xavier Simpson. Teskey setting a screen. Simpson will pull up for another three, and short, but Teskey with the rebound stripped by Ahrens.
Another big offensive rebound for Teskey, but he does not convert.
Winston on the left side. Winston moves to the center, now off to the right. Marked by Barazdakis. Winston goes under off to McQuaid. McQuaid wide open for three, and does not go. Rebound by Barazdakis, but stripped by Tillman. Maze Rage bang for a foul. Ahrens for three, and it will not go. Rebound by Xavier Simpson. Michigan room to run. Michigan State gets numbers back. Simpson holds up. Simpson goes up for a layup.
Great. Got the mismatch on Xavier Tillman. Simpson takes to the rim and gets the basket.
6:20 left in the first half. 30 all, and a quick three from Winston. Just rebound by Simpson. Now Michigan can get back out in front.
I will say these refs are letting a lot go. That looked like an over the back on Kyle Lawrence on Xavier Simpson. He had a great position, went over the back, and they didn't call it.
And Gabe Brown and Isaiah Livers both at the scorer's table, one for each team. Simpson slowing it down for Michigan. And Barazdakis at the corner. Barazdakis to the baseline. Barazdakis moves back out. Barazdakis now to the baseline. Barazdakis through the legs now to DeJulius, who pulls up for a jumper, and it does not go. DeJulius goes down. Barazdakis cannot handle the offensive rebound. It goes out of bounds.
DeJulius, East English from Detroit here. He's a freshman, great ball player, but he cannot take that look. That's not a very good look for him. He's got a lot of speed. He can drive to the rim, but that was a tough pull for the guy right in his face. He can't pull that shot. Michigan's got to get better shots here. They're taking a lot of forced shots that they don't need to take.
Isaiah Livers coming back in, replacing John Teskey. And now Gabe Brown at the right wing. And now it is Tillman to McQuaid to Goins to Winston. Quick ball movement by the Spartans here. Winston guarded by DeJulius. Winston will drive. DeJulius goes down, and a charge called on Cassius Winston.
Beautiful defense by David DeJulius, getting to the spot, beating Cassius Winston to the spot, and getting the charge. That's the type of energy, the type of things they need from the bench there. As David DeJulius picks up a huge charge.
And Charles Matthews makes his turn to the court.
Huge for the Wolverines. They need Charles Matthews. Charles Matthews, just like Xavier Simpson, is such a complete player. He can do it all. Him on the court, Wolverines are much, much better.
And DeJulius rewarded for that charge taken by going straight to the bench. And now Simpson moves to his left. Give and go with Charles Matthews. Matthews to Livers. Barazdakis on the right wing. Barazdakis to Matthews. Matthews at the baseline. Pulls up from 18 feet, and it will not go. Rebound by Cassius Winston. And now McQuaid out on the right, guarded by Poole. McQuaid looking for a lane, and McQuaid goes to the baseline and tipped away. A steal by Poole, or was that Brasdeikis? Either way, Simpson straight to the hoop. Simpson goes up and a block by Gabe Brown. And out of bounds. Oh, yeah, Gabe Brown stepping out of bounds. Sorry about that.
I still want to see more out of the Iggy versus Kenny Goins matchup. Iggy hasn't taken to the rack a lot, and when he does, he's getting decent looks.
And Brasdeikis, 5 points so far, and Michigan able to get the pass off this time. Last time they were in this situation, called for a 5-second violation. Poole give and go with Simpson. Back to Brasdeikis, now to Simpson. Simpson up the top, Brasdeikis setting a screen. Now back to Brasdeikis. Brasdeikis has it stolen away by Goins, and Winston all by himself, and Winston will go out for the easy layup.
Yep, not seeing a lot of Iggy right now, not seeing his normal aggression. He's only got 5 points. Iggy's got to pick it up if Michigan wants to win this game.
And now Simpson off a screen from Livers, now to Matthews at the corner. Matthews moves to the left wing. Matthews off a screen from Livers, back to Livers. Livers thought about it, doesn't take it. Livers moves back. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Matthews at the top. Matthews looking to drive. Matthews will drive, takes it up, and it goes.
Great patience by Charles Matthews. He gets ISO, he does his thing, he gets a good look and makes the bucket.
And now Cassius Winston up top, slowing it down for Michigan State. Gives it off to Goins. Goins with McQuaid. McQuaid off his screen, fakes out Poole. McQuaid for three, will not go, but an offensive rebound by Goins and way too easy.
Someone has got to box out, and I believe it's Iggy again. Iggy's getting beat by Kenny Goins a lot. This is a match that I thought Michigan had the best chance to win, and really so far Kenny Goins is beating Iggy.
And Simpson will give it off to Poole. Michigan State, 2 players at the scorer's table. Poole off a screen from Livers. Poole not really doing much with it. Now Poole will drive and underhanded draws the foul.
Great penetration by Jordan Poole. Also, that's another guy pouring out pregame that has to step up, and Jordan Poole really hasn't done a lot so far. Like I said, he's only got 2 points on 1 of 4 shooting, 0 for 2 from 3. And we're starting to see the Flares kind of build up a little bit. Charles Matthews give Kenny Goins a little shove there, then David Tillman and John Teske get into it. Like I said, man, this is a rivalry. This is Michigan State. This is a game that both teams schedule, circle, and blood. This is a huge game. It's got a lot of Big Ten implications, got NCAA tournament implications. This game means a lot to both these teams.
And, of course, one of the lasting images of Michigan basketball last season in the regular season was Charles Matthews with a rueful grin on his face following a confrontation with Nick Ward.
Right in the face of Nick Ward, and that's the thing that Michigan has too. They have that edge, they have that chip on their shoulder. Last year they were a team that wasn't really respected much until they won the Big Ten tournament. And, they brought the energy into this year, and, it's been such a great year for both Michigan and Michigan State. Honestly, there's not many. I mean, can you think of many states in the country that have 2 amazing basketball programs like the state of Michigan has?
North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina, yeah, obviously, besides them. But, I mean, Michigan and Michigan State both have an amazing. Yeah, and Louisville, Kentucky, sure. I'm wrong on that. You got me, Hornburg, but still, like I was saying, these are 2 huge programs that year after year in and year out have great seasons, and this is a great basketball game shaping out here so far.
I live to tell you that you're wrong, Andy.
I know. I'm wrong a lot, but hey, I keep rolling a bunch of BS. That's all right.
And now the under 4 timeout in full swing. And now something interesting to see, Aaron Henry up to 2 fouls for the Spartans. He's the only one he has not played in since the first 2 minutes after 2 quick fouls. No Michigan player has 2 fouls. 1 assist each to Matthews, DeJulius, and Brandon Johns. And the 1974 Big Ten title team for Michigan basketball now being honored on the court.
That's one thing John Beilein loves. He loves this Michigan basketball team. He loves the tradition behind this program. And a big game like Michigan State, he's going to bring everybody out. That's how John Beilein is. He's a great guy, a great individual. He's a great leader for this program. And he respects everything that people in the past have done to build this great program.
And Kenny Goins pacing the field still, scoring with 13. And Michigan's new leading scorer is Xavier Simpson with 10, including 2 for 5 from beyond the arc.
Yeah, big show out for Xavier Simpson so far. Like I said, man, he's such a great leader, and he plays with such passion. Games like this, he comes out for it. He steps up for big games. Michigan State, the last 2 times he's met with Cassius Winston, he dropped 16 points and 15 points. Here so far, he's got 10 points. Xavier Simpson loves this rivalry, and he's going to step out whenever he can.
And now the Michigan basketball band, a rendition of Sweet Victory that we were so cruelly deprived of in Super Bowl.
We were cheated from it, Nick. We were cheated from it, and the Michigan band, the beautiful Michigan band, they're making it happen for us.
They've been making it happen since the Ohio State game.
It's beautiful. Such a great atmosphere here in Crisler Center, year in and year out, game after game. And they came out in this maze out, and maze out's not great, but you're just seeing a lot of noise, a lot of energy from the crowd here today.
Of course, the Michigan basketball program mired in malaise for a good decade following the sanctions in the late 90s after the forced resignation of Steve Fisher.
Yep.
And largely, for much of that time, and really the last 20 years even, Crisler Center not known for giving a great home field advantage. Last 2 years, Michigan basketball arguably the best they've been in quite a while. And Crisler Center providing a consistent atmosphere since the start of the season. Of course, being 24-3 lends itself to that.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
And now both teams come out of the timeout as Thomas Kittier back in for Michigan State, Xavier Tillman back on the bench. Jordan Poole has the opportunity to shoot 2, and Poole will hit the first one off the front and back of the rim.
Yeah, that's a big thing about Nick Ward being injured. There's not a lot of big guy depth for the Spartan team, so you're seeing Kittier get a lot of minutes here. Usually, like I said, I think he's only averaging about 5 or 6 minutes a game.
John Teskey back in as Jordan Poole hits the second free throw. Game knotted up at 34, 3 minutes left. Cassius Winston moves to the right, trying to play quickly, but good hold-off play by Brazdakis and Simpson. And now the switch. Teskey loses his man. Ahrens off to Kittier. Teskey recovers. Now Ahrens to Winston. Cassius Winston off a screen from Ahrens. Kittier rolls to the basket, and nothing going as Cassius Winston forced to move. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Winston on Brazdakis. Winston forced all the way back, and now Goins wide open for a 15-foot fader. Will not go. Rebound by Brazdakis.
I'm not sure what Xavier Simpson was doing there. Iggy had Cassius under control, and he came over. That gave for a wide open shot. Kenny Goins, fortunately, he missed it.
Well, Kenny Goins can definitely shoot over Xavier Simpson as Jordan Poole drives off a screen from Teskey. Poole to Simpson to Teskey underneath the basket. Teskey triple marked. Teskey gets fouled.
Good ball move by the Wolverines. It's swinging out to Xavier. Xavier dumps it back into Teskey. Teskey gets fouled. That's the one thing about this Michigan offense. They don't have a lot of great shooters, but they're going to score buckets by getting good ball movement and taking the ball to the rack. And right there, he had great ball movement. Led John Teskey on the free throw line.
And Michigan now in the bonus for the last 2.5 minutes of this first half as John Teskey hits the first one.
4-4 from the free throw line. Fortunately, that's an aspect to his game that John Teskey has improved a lot. You know, a guy like John Teskey, Michigan needs him late in the games to play that great post defense. He can stay late in the games with his ability to shoot free throws.
Xavier Tillman back in the game. Thomas Kittier back to the bench. And Teskey misses the second one. You jinxed him again,
man,
Andy.
I'm all over the place
with these
free throw takes.
And man. Cassius Winston on the left side. Cassius Winston, the only Michigan State player to not go to the bench once so far. And Winston to Tillman. Tillman looking for a lane on the right wing. And Simpson blocks the give and go with Winston. And now Tillman to McQuaid. And Jordan Poole falls down. McQuaid pulls up for 3, and it goes.
That's the problem with that play for Jordan Poole. If you're going to flop like that, if you're going to try to look for that charge, you're going to leave him wide open if you don't get that call. And he left him wide open, and Matt McQuaid buried the 3.
Jordan Poole give and go with Brazdakis. Now to Simpson. Simpson, Michigan's leading scorer with 10 points. Now gives it back to Poole. Jordan Poole at the top looking for a lane. Screen off Teskey. Jordan Poole goes to the hoop, and Poole cannot go, but rebound by Brazdakis, and Brazdakis has it stolen off by Winston. Poole hit the floor hard. Michigan State 5-on-4. Kyle Ahrens over the top to Tillman, and a foul by Xavier Simpson, really necessary more than anything.
Yeah, Kyle Ahrens again got the ball on the wing. It looked like he traveled. He got the ball and took a couple steps before he laid it on the floor, and then Xavier Simpson comes over. When Xavier Tillman gets the ball and gets a foul. So, like I said, another missed call that I thought was a travel.
And Xavier Tillman will shoot 2, and he makes the first one. Michigan State back up by 3, 38-35. Michigan has not hit a basket from the field in the last 2:31.
Yeah, Xavier Tillman, the sophomore from Grand Rapids, really has stepped his game up this year.
And Xavier Tillman hits the second. Michigan State up 4. Jordan Poole will play the inbound to Xavier Simpson.
Yeah, Tillman in his first game starting for the Spartans after the Nick Ward injury. 19-10 against Rutgers. Been very productive so far.
And Simpson to Charles Matthews on the wing. Matthews will move over to the corner off a screen by Teskey. Comes the other way. Matthews, good defense by Tillman. Simpson will drive out to Matthews. Matthews up to the baseline. Matthews goes up and a block. Out of bounds. Michigan basketball.
Yeah, you're seeing Michigan take it to the rack a lot and force up shots in traffic. You know, Jordan Poole last possession did it, got blocked, and then Charles Matthews does it there around 3 guys and can't convert.
Simpson risking the 5-second again. Gets it off to Teskey at the corner. Now to Matthews.
5 seconds.
5-second shot clock. Matthews for 3. Does not go, but an offensive rebound by Brasdakis. Brasdakis will go to the rack, and it goes.
Big rebound by Ignis Brasdakis here. It's huge. If he could do that and get off at the boards, get Michigan's second chance points, they could climb back into this.
It's been a game of runs so far. Michigan now 1 for their last 7. And now Cassius Winston on Simpson, slowing it down. Under a minute left in the first half. And Tillman over the top to, Goins over the top to Tillman, and a steal. No, McQuaid. No, Tillman comes up with it. Now Aaron's at the corner. Out to McQuaid, and it'll go to the backcourt. And 2 seconds left on the shot clock, and McQuaid forced to just go out of bounds.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of sloppy play from Spartans, turn the ball over a lot. And like you were saying, they're on pace for 40 points. They almost got it. They got 39-37 right now. You're seeing a lot of points, and this is a high-scoring game considering this rivalry, but still, if they're not scoring, it's been super sloppy play.
And now Xavier Simpson stands at the line to take an inbound. Michigan already got 1 5-second call from this position and almost another one. Quick ball out to Teskey and a give and go with Simpson. Shot clock turned off. Michigan will play for the last shot.
Settle down, get a high pick and roll, see if you can get a mismatch, and get a good shot.
Tom Izzo screaming for his defense to hold strong. And John Beilein will call a timeout.
Smart timeout by John Beilein. Using the use it or lose it timeout rule, and that's fine. You know, Beilein's going to set up a good play out of bounds here. Bench to get the ball down. 8-9 seconds, they're going to go out and get a bucket. But so far, I mean, like I was saying about the sloppy play, Michigan has 7 turnovers. A team that's not super notorious for turning the ball over. Not looking great so far to take care of the ball. And like I said, they're forcing a lot of bad shots. Yes, Michigan has 37 points, but offense hasn't been super efficient.
Yes, and Michigan so far on the game shooting 45% from the field against Michigan State's 56.
Yeah. Like I said, I still want to see more out of Iggy. He's only taken 3 shots so far. He's 2 for 3 on the floor. He's got Kenny Goins on him. Maybe you bring Teskey up on high ball screen and see if you can get Kenny Goins off his general set traditionally and see if Iggy can take it to the rack on him.
And the inbound to Simpson. 12 seconds left. Gives it off to Poole, to Brasdakis. 6 seconds left. That's Simpson, rather. Simpson will cut to the free throw line. Simpson goes up, hook shot, does not go, and out of bounds, and that will end the first half. Michigan, after getting into the bonus with 2.5 minutes left, cannot draw a single foul, as Michigan State will go to the locker room at the Crisler Center with a 39-37 lead.
Yeah, tough last possession there. They got a switch on Xavier Simpson. Kenny Goins stepped out. But Kenny Goins actually played very surprising defense to keep up with Simpson. And Simpson tried that hook, and didn't follow it, unfortunately.
And that will end the first half, about 15-minute intermission. And just to recap, Michigan State 39, Michigan 37 at the half. Thank you very much for listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan basketball. My name is Nick Hornburg alongside Andy Laidlaw for the first half. In about 15 minutes, Evan Oesterle and Nate Sorensen will bring you the second half here at the Crisler Center. And once again, the score at halftime, Michigan State 39, Michigan 37.
are back at Crisler here for the second half. My name's Evan Oesterle alongside Nate Sorensen. We will be with you the rest of the way. Michigan trails Michigan State at halftime 37-39. Just under 3 minutes away from getting started here in the second half. It was a high-scoring, very intense game in the half, but what did you see from both teams that surprised you, that maybe you were expecting, and what needs to change?
Well, a lot of things were surprising, honestly. This is about as far away from a Michigan basketball game as you can get. So far, everything has gone MSU's way stylistically. It's a high-paced game. It's high-scoring. That's what MSU wants to do. That is the antithesis of Michigan's identity. And so far, I don't know. I would say as well as everything has gone for MSU, for them to be only up 2 points at the half is very surprising to me. I think if Michigan comes back out here, they slow down the pace, they limit MSU's opportunities, they can take control of this game and have the upper hand going forward.
You talk about all the things that did go right for Michigan State. They shot 56% from the field. They won the turnover battle. Michigan did out-rebound the Spartans by 6, but overall, the way that Michigan State played, you would think they'd be up by double digits.
Absolutely, and it's been the entire supporting cast for the Spartans here that's stepping up. When you're playing MSU, especially now that Nick Ward and Langford are both out for the rest of the season, there really isn't much of a supporting cast. It's Cash Winston and some other guys, really. And what you have to do is stop Cash Winston. If you stop Winston, you stop this team. Well, so far, Michigan has sold out to stop Winston a lot of times. Anytime he's getting a ball screen, there's high hedges. They're really trying to limit him. And so far, I wouldn't say they've taken him out of this game, but they've done about as good of a job as you can expect. He's got 8 points, 5 assists on 3 of 6 shooting. I mean, that's not necessarily lighting you up. It's just everybody else has done so well. McQuaid hitting his shots. Goins is not a guy who's going to come out and score 13 points and a half normally. He's a guy that really is only sitting at about 10 to 15% usage percentage. That's not a guy that's going to put up high volume numbers. He's just been in the right space, right spot at the right time, and he's hitting his threes. That's the kind of thing. It's not exactly shocking that he's putting in baskets, but it's not necessarily sustainable for the Spartans.
Charles Matthews and Poole combined for 6 points, 2 of 9 from the field, 0 of 2 from behind the arc. How critical is it to get one of these two guys going for Michigan?
Well, with Jordan Poole, I don't know what you can do. He had a hot start in our last game, and he just couldn't really keep it going so far. And this is kind of what Jordan Poole has become, sans the first month of the season. This is just, I don't think he's necessarily a guy you can rely on, especially in a big moment. But I got to say, Charles Matthews, he's a big player. He's a big-time guy. He steps up in big moments. I feel like he was limited. He couldn't get into a rhythm because of the foul trouble there. Early on in the game, he picked up that one on the Matt McQuaid 3. I think he comes out here. He doesn't have to worry about foul trouble anymore. He can get himself into a rhythm, and I expect him to come out big here for the Wolverines in the second half.
Just about ready to get started here in the second half. Kenny Goins, as you mentioned, a game-high 13 points. Ignas Brazdakis has 7 rebounds for the Wolverines, also a game-high, and Cassius Winston, a game-high 5 assists. We had 12 lead changes in that half. It was tied for 5 minutes and 5 seconds. Michigan State did lead for more than half of the first half, but a back-and-forth game for sure, and more of the same expected for the second half as we get started here. Jordan Poole inbounds to Xavier Simpson, right back to Poole. Charles Matthews working on the wing against Henry. Brazdakis waiting patiently, now swings it over to Matthews, still working against Henry. Matthews drives in, stops, thought about it, passes it back out to Brazdakis. 10 on the shot clock. Brazdakis drives into the lane. Tough finish to the basket. He's going to get fouled and go to the line for 2.
That's exactly what Michigan needs, getting things going towards the basket, getting to the line. This team has improved so much as a whole from the free throw line. They shot 6 of 7 in the first half, and Michigan State's a team that is prone to foul. They're one of the most frequently fouling teams in the Big Ten. That's what Michigan needs right there.
That's Aaron Henry's 3rd personal foul. He got 2 early, but Izzo let him play most of that first half. Brazdakis hits the first, cuts the lead to 1. So Kyle Ahrens will check in for Michigan State. It's Winston, Henry, or Henry just went out. Winston, McQuaid, Arns, Tillman, Goins for the Spartans. Starters for the Wolverines, Poole, Matthews, Simpson, Brazdakis, and Teskey. Brazdakis hits both, so tie game here, 19:37 to go in the second half. Winston working against Simpson. Winston to Goins. Goins up top to Winston. Winston still working against Simpson. Gets a screen once again from Tillman. Out to McQuaid now. Poole all over him. McQuaid gets a screen from Tillman. McQuaid smothered in the lane. Now passes to Winston down the lane, and a floater goes. 41-39 Michigan State.
I cannot understand doubling Matt McQuaid on a pick and roll there. He is absolutely abysmal as a pick and roll ball handler. You got to just let him go. Let him try to do anything.
Great pass from Matthews inside the Poole on the cut, and we're tied once again. 41-41. McQuaid gets the ball working against Poole on the outside. McQuaid now a little floater off the backboard. No good. Rebound Teskey. Poole quickly back the other way.
Right there's why you let McQuaid try to create. He can't. He shoots about 30. I don't even know if he is quite 30% on 2-point attempts on the season.
A three-point specialist now. Brazdakis for three. He got fouled by McQuaid. He's going to shoot 3 more free throws. That's McQuaid's first personal foul, but Iggy with a chance to give the Wolverines a lead.
At the line, shooting 3 for the Wolverines, number 13, Iggy Brazdakis.
And you mentioned doubling McQuaid. He had a wide-open Cassius Winston cutting through the lane. Michigan in the first half struggled to defend Cassius Winston off ball screens. Interesting to see what kind of adjustments Yaklich made at halftime as Iggy makes the first, but that is definitely not the way you want to defend Matt McQuaid.
No, not at all. And I feel like with Cash Winston, you maybe just got to let Xavier Simpson do his thing on him, go mano-a-mano, because if you're doubling him, that means somebody's open and he's going to find him.
Brazdakis good on each of the first 2 free throws. He's now 4-4 on the line for the day. One more would put the Wolverines up by 3. No substitutions for either team. Brazdakis makes all 3. 44-41 Michigan. 18:28 to go. It is getting loud in Crisler. Winston hands off to McQuaid, gives it to Tillman. Tillman hands off to Winston. Another hedge by Teskey. Wide open is Goins on the outside. Late contest from Iggy forced him to miss, but Goins gets his own rebound. Cassius working against Poole. 20 seconds on the shot clock now. Screen from Tillman. Cassius still working against Poole. Looking for a shot. Can't get it into the lane. Blocked by Teskey, but they're going to call foul on Michigan. It looked to me like he got all ball, but 2 free throws for Cassius Winston.
Yeah, that's not the first time Cash has really sold some contact to get himself to the line. He really flailed the arms out, and that's going to help. And that looked like, I don't even know if Teskey even blocked it. I think the ball just slipped right out of Winston's hands without any contact. He swings his arms out, though, and that's going to get the whistle more times than not.
Tough call there, goes against the Wolverines. Isaiah Livers is going to check in for John Teskey. That's Teskey's first, so not really any foul trouble, but he's going to get a breather here. The Wolverines have struggled without Teskey on the floor today.
And I don't like that decision one bit. With Tillman still on the floor for the Spartans, that's a huge mismatch for Michigan.
Winston makes both, so 44-43, 2 minutes into the second half, exactly 18 to go. Simpson brings it up. Swings it to Poole, to Matthews. Matthews gets a screen from Livers, working against Ahrens. Matthews on the baseline, kicks out. Open was Livers for a second. Now Tillman knocks it free. Hands back to Simpson. Simpson with 10 on the shot clock. Poole finds Simpson on the cut, and he gets fouled as he goes up. A great give and go by Xavier Simpson, and he'll shoot 2 free throws, and it's turning into a free throw contest here at Crisler.
Great work by Simpson to salvage that possession, but right there, Isaiah Livers had a half a step. He had a chance to shoot an open 3, and that's the reason he's out on the floor. If he's not going to have a quick turn on those 3s, he really shouldn't even be in the game.
Tom Izzo once again screaming at the referee. He spent a lot of the first half doing that. Simpson hits the first, and both teams hitting all of their free throws to start this second half. 45-43 is the score. Wolverines are now 12 of 13 from the free throw line. Not a good free throw shooting team. Michigan under 70% on the year. It's been one of those fatal flaws for this team, especially in the game at Wisconsin. Simpson hits both, 46-43 now. Xavier Simpson 2 of 2 from the line on the day. He has 12 points for the Wolverines. Winston working against Simpson. Good defense from Simpson. Cross-court pass to McQuaid into the corner. Dumps it into Tillman, and they're going to call a quick foul on Isaiah Livers. That's going to be his first.
Man, if these whistles keep going at this rate, it's going to be a slog of a second half.
That's 2 fouls on the Wolverines, 3 fouls on Michigan State. Not even 3 minutes into the second half as Winston inbounds to Goins, working up top against Brazdakis. And now an offensive foul. Tillman pushed down Jordan Poole, who was trying to fight through a screen. And now Tom Izzo is really getting into it. Matt McQuaid got into it with the ref first, and Ignis Brazdakis is now pumping up the crowd, and here comes the student section, and here come the fans for the Wolverines. Tom Izzo not happy, Matt McQuaid not happy, but the Wolverines with a 3-point lead, 17:22 to go.
And that was pretty interesting right there, because I think what happened was McQuaid yelled at the ref, and then Izzo yelled at McQuaid. He was not even giving it to the ref at all. Really just purely angry at McQuaid there. Not too often you see a coach go after a player like that.
The Spartans slap the floor. Brazdakis the drive into Teskey. Teskey the layup, no good. Rebound by Tillman, and that patented floor slap started by McQuaid, and all the Spartans followed suit. Cassius fouled by Teskey as he went around. That's 2 quick ones on Teskey now, and that is 7 total fouls in this half, just 3 minutes in, and like you said, this is going to turn into a free throw shooting contest really quickly. Winston gets the inbound. We're now under 17 minutes to go in the second half, 46-43 Michigan. Winston picked up his dribble, sends it to McQuaid in the corner. Simpson switches on to McQuaid, and now Poole gets it back, and Simpson will switch back on to Winston. Winston gets a screen from Tillman. 7 on the shot clock, 5 on the shot clock. Tough floater from Winston. That goes back down to a 1-point game.
Now right there's a shot that maybe Cash Winston is the only guy in the Big Ten that's going to make that one consistently. He's about halfway down to the ground. His body's about horizontal with the floor, and he still manages to hit that floater. That's incredible work.
Simpson swings it to Poole up top. Poole working against Ahrens. Poole drives to the basket, and it goes in the foul. Jordan Poole, a little flex to the bench, and Kyle Ahrens with the foul. Poole shoot one more. Michigan back up 3. That's 2 on Ahrens.
And here I said Jordan Poole couldn't step up in the second half. I love the tenacity by Jordan Poole. He missed a couple of layups in that first half. That hasn't dissuaded him at all. Still just as aggressive as ever.
You know, the jumper has not been falling for him the last 2 months, but getting to the basket, something that he's developed this year, and he did it very well right there. Poole did make the free throw. Michigan up 4, 49-45, closing in on the 16-minute mark. Several ball handoffs from the Spartans. Winston finally gets it and goes towards the basket. Now he's going to pull back out. Up to Goins up top, now down low to Tillman against Teskey. Tillman a little spin move. No good on the hook shot. Michigan ball back the other way.
Surprised to see Tillman settle for a jump hook right there. Knowing that Teskey is on the verge of foul trouble, would have thought he'd go into the chest of him.
6 to the Brazdakis. Drives baseline and slams it home. Michigan State nearly threw it away. 6-point lead for the Wolverines. Timeout, Tom Izzo, and this crowd is going ballistic. Ignis Brazdakis took the ball baseline and slammed it home. 51-45, 15:32 to go in the second half.
And there's the maize and blue Canadian flag with the old maple leaf waving in the student section. Thank goodness Michigan fans had those from the Nick Stauskas days, because they're just as relevant now as they ever have been. Oh my. Iggy Brazdakis, what an absolutely a powerful dunk right there to go into traffic, knowing that Xavier Tillman, one of the best rim defenders in all the Big Ten, is waiting there for him. Just was able to power right through him.
14-6 start here for Michigan in the second half. Lots of free throws and 8 combined fouls on both teams. Michigan State already has 5. They're just 2 away from the bonus, and we haven't even played 5 minutes yet. But Ignis Brazdakis, a strong dunk, and he has 14 points. Cassius Winston also 14. They're tied for the game high. Maybe John Beilein needs to go get more Canadian players with the success he had with Stauskas and now the freshman Ignis Brazdakis.
I wouldn't be opposed, gotta say.
John Beilein turning into more of a recruiter the last few years. Tom Izzo has done the same, but you could argue that Tom Izzo has struggled more to develop the 5 stars and the high 4 stars than he does with the lower ranked players over the years. John Beeline, jury's kind of still out. He hasn't had quite as many of the big names as Izzo has had, but as you start to get more of these Ignas Brazdeikis, Jalen Wilson, these higher ranked players over the next few years, we'll find out what John Beeline can do with that talent.
I think he's going to do just fine. That's my take.
He's done just fine with pretty much everything he's done at Michigan so far, so that's probably not too off base right there. Michigan up to 47% for the game. They shot 43% in the first half. Michigan State struggling a little bit offensively in the second half. 6 points. Michigan really just lighting it up in all aspects. Just 1 3-point field goal combined for both teams. It was a miss by Michigan State in the first 4.5 minutes. So both teams really getting aggressive, posting up, driving to the basket. And is that what you expected to see here? Less jump shots, more down low?
Well, I can't really say. I really like the idea for Michigan to go into the paint, draw fouls, because I'm not exactly sure now that it's become such a foul-heavy contest. I don't know who foul trouble hurts more, but I know the Spartans being in foul trouble is going to hurt them for sure. They don't have Langford, they don't have Ward, they do not have a lot of depth. Not that depth is exactly a strength for the Wolverines either, but with those 2 star players out, MSU does not have much to come off the bench in the way of help. So Michigan keeps going to the rim, keeps drawing fouls. They're going to really put the pressure on Michigan State.
Neither team really had foul trouble at halftime, but Aaron Henry has 3. Tillman, McQuaid, and Arons each have 2 for the Spartans. Teskey has 2 for the Wolverines, but other than that, nobody with more than 1. But the way that this game has been called in the first 4.5 minutes, you would expect some foul trouble for both teams down the stretch. Michigan State gets it going. Winston working up top, a quick double team. Wide open was Goins, and he was fouled by Brazdeikis. That's going to be his first foul. And now we hit the under 16 media timeout right after the Michigan State timeout. So an extended break here, but another foul call. That's 9 combined between the 2 teams. Michigan State with 5, Michigan with 4. 15:22 to go in the second half. Wolverines lead 51-45.
Well, everyone at home, get comfortable wherever you are, because this one is not going to end anytime soon. I cannot imagine.
No, this has been a slow start to the half with lots of foul calls, and we could be here a while. A lot of free throw shooting, and if you told me before the game that this was going to be a free throw shooting contest down the stretch, I would have said that really favors Michigan State, but Michigan 14 of 15 from the line so far, and maybe they want to shoot free throws.
Yeah, and I wouldn't expect Michigan to keep shooting free throws at a 93% clip as a team, but you got to give a lot of credit to so many guys on this team for improving their free throw shooting. Matthews and Xavier Simpson were always such a liability at the line on the season. Both of them are, Matthews is 63%, Simpson 67%, not exactly lighting it up, but more than serviceable. Really a big step for both of those players, and I think they've been even better in Big Ten play. But yeah, it's not necessarily a strength of this team, but if they're going to keep shooting this well, I may as well.
John Beeline's team's traditionally very good at shooting. This team has been sporadic from 3-point range, and really the first half of the season, they really struggled from the free throw line, but like you said, they've picked it up in Big Ten play. Today, Brazdeikis is 5 of 5 from the line, Poole 3 of 3, Simpson 2 of 2, and Teskey 4 of 5. Teskey, by the way, now has 7 rebounds, matching Ignas Brazdeikis' 7. 14 points and 7 rebounds for Brazdeikis in front of about half the NBA teams here with either GMs or scouts today, and it's a good time to play one of your best games of the season, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, and I think John Teskey especially has played himself up into first-round draft boards. He's just been, he's got the kind of size you want out of an NBA player, obviously. He's at least 7 feet tall, I got to say, and he's listed at 7'1". I don't know, once you get up that high. People are rounding up or down or whichever way.
Yeah.
So who knows for sure, but the way his three-point stroke has looked, as consistent as he is from the free throw line, and just how good he is at not being able to foul. You got to think these NBA GMs here today are really loving what they're seeing out of him.
Well, he's not quite as athletic as some of the star big men in the NBA today, but he can shoot the ball and space the floor, and he's such a good rim protector. You would think he's at least going to get some looks, if not late in the first round, for sure in the second round, but you know John Beilein would love to have him back as well as everybody else on this team for another season.
Yeah, Chesky not exactly a guy who's going to lock anyone down on the perimeter, but he's far from being a dinosaur out there on the court. He's got quick enough feet to make it, I would say.
Michigan State gets going again. Winston up top working against Xavier Simpson. 10 on the shot clock. Winston gets another screen, driving into the lane. Fade away over Teskey, no good. Teskey the rebound. Here comes Jordan Poole. We hit the 15-minute mark in the second half. Michigan leads 51-45. Poole gets a screen from Teskey. Poole had to pick up his dribble, and Poole just shuffled his pivot foot a little bit and got called for the traveling violation, so Michigan State ball back the other way.
Well, shouldn't be surprised to see that call. The refs were very quick to call travels in that first half as well.
I think that's 3 travel calls on the game now, at least in total, as Winston sent it to McQuaid, up top to Ahrens, back to Winston. Finds Goins open on the wing. Goins drives against Brazdakis. And it looks like they're going to call a reaching foul on Xavier Simpson. So that's 2 on Xavier Simpson and 5th team foul on Michigan, matching Michigan State's 5 team fouls in the second half. And we are just 2 fouls away from 1-and-1s for both teams.
That is absurd. Simpson definitely tried to get in there, but if there was any contact, you got to think the ball would have gotten away from Goins. He was dribbling up near his shoulder.
Winston to McQuaid. McQuaid puts up a 3, no good. Teskey the rebound. And Michigan State struggling offensively a little bit after a 39-point first half against one of the best defenses in the country. Matthews dumps into Teskey in the high post. Hands off to Simpson. Back to Matthews. Now Brazdakis on the wing. Brazdakis for 3. In and out. No good. Goins comes up with it for the Spartans, and Winston back the other way. Winston a screen from Goins, and once again a long head from Brazdakis, but he gets back to Kenny Goins. 20 seconds on the shot clock now. Under 14 minutes to go in the game. Winston dumps it into Tillman, and a good pick and roll from Xavier Tillman. 51-47 now.
And Michigan's been struggling to cover that pick and roll just a little bit here, and Xavier Tillman, once he gets the ball in the paint, it's just about automatic.
Matthews on the outside, tried to send it into Poole, who was cutting, but picked off by the Spartans. Winston quickly back the other way, tried to dump it off, and then Xavier Simpson stole it, and a loose ball, and Matthews comes up with it, and he's finally fouled by Kyle Ahrens. 16 foul on the Spartans. That's 3 on Ahrens, but a wild sequence there. Winston lost it, then Simpson lost it, and finally Matthews came up with it.
Yeah, and I thought Simpson was going to have an easy, fast break going the other way, and it was actually, I think, Brazdakis that stopped him there. The ball went right into his shins, sent it back MSU's way. That was a wild goose chase for the ball.
13 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the game. 51-47, Michigan leads. Simpson gives to Teskey up top, swings to Brazdakis on the elbow. Back up to Matthews up top. Brazdakis driving against Tillman, and another foul call. It's going to be a 1-and-1 for Ignas Brazdakis, and that's Tillman's 3rd foul, and this game is really getting ugly with the fouls. Tillman's going to head to the bench. Kithier is going to come in for the Spartans. 13-13 to go, and we are in the bonus.
I cannot believe some of these foul calls. I don't think any have been necessarily egregious, but like...
Brazdakis was 5 of 5 on the day. That one rolls off the side rim. So it stays 51-47. Winston working up top against Simpson. Gets a screen. Aaron Henry's back in the game. Winston kicked to Goins. No good. Ball tipped up by Henry. It's going to stay with the Spartans. It was a fight underneath, but out of bounds off Michigan. Isaiah Livers checking in for Ignas Brazdakis. So it's Simpson, Brazdakis, or Simpson, Livers, Poole, Matthews, and Teskey for the Wolverines. Kithier gets it off the inbound. He's out there along with McQuaid Goins, Henry, and Winston. Wide open is Kithier underneath, and Isaiah Livers just got lost off of the screen. 51-49 now. 12:40 to go.
There again, you just do not have to focus that much on McQuaid when he's dribbling around. He is not a threat to score off the dribble.
Matthews with the ball in the elbow, up top to Teskey, swings to the other elbow with Simpson. Now Poole gets it up top. Jordan Poole on the left wing, working against Kithier. Step back three-pointer, Jordan Poole, no good. Battle for the rebound, Goins grabbed it away from Livers. Winston quickly back the other way.
Teskey had a mismatch on McQuaid. He was posting him up down low, and Jordan Poole had a lane to pass it to him. Just decided to take that pull-up three instead.
Winston's three-pointer is blocked by McQuaid. He nearly threw it away. It's saved in the half court by Kenny Goins. Michigan State will reset. 8 on the shot clock for Cassius Winston. He's still working against Isaiah Livers. Gets a screen from Kithier. Winston with 3 on the shot clock. McQuaid is going to draw a foul from Jordan Poole on the three-point shot. Poole did jump, and it looks like he just got a little too much body contact. That's Poole's first foul. Team's 6th foul, so both teams now in the bonus, but 3 free throws coming up for Matt McQuaid after the under 12 media timeout. 51-49, Michigan leads 11:50 to go.
Well, that's smart basketball on Matt McQuaid. When you know the refs are calling any little bit of contact a foul, you may as well start going for him. And right there, I don't know if that's necessarily a bad play by Jordan Poole. Sure, he left his feet, but that's a guy right there you know is going to shoot it pretty much every time he catches the ball. He's a catch and shoot guy first and foremost, and man, that is tough right there. When you know a guy's just baiting for a foul to call that, it always bothers me.
Tough foul right there for Jordan Poole. So, as I said, both teams now in the bonus. Michigan with 16 fouls in the half. Michigan State with 7. The Wolverines 14 of 16 from the line so far. Michigan State 8 of 11, and there's going to be a lot more free throw shot in the last 11:50 of this game. It's probably going to take quite a bit of time too. So we're buckled in here, ready to sit through the rest of this one, and Michigan leading a tough, high-scoring game. Wolverines shooting 44% from the field. Spartans 50% from the field. Just 5 three-pointers made for each team. Neither team shooting the ball particularly well, but getting the ball down low, drawing fouls. That's been the recipe for both teams in a high-scoring game between two teams that are both strong on the defensive side. So definitely not what we were expecting coming in offensively.
Not at all. And the way this second half has gone, I don't know. It's just going to purely turn into a free throw shooting contest here. Maybe what teams are shooting from the field isn't going to matter.
3 fouls on Aaron Henry, Kyle Arns, and Xavier Tillman from Michigan State. So foul trouble to watch for them down the stretch. For the Wolverines, Xavier Simpson and Teskey each have 2 fouls, which is not a problem yet. But again, the way this game's being called, that can change really quickly. It'll be interesting to see how both coaches manage foul trouble down the stretch. And also how both coaches decide to attack the opposing defenses. If you know you're going to get a foul call every time, they might just end up driving to the basket every single possession.
I don't know why you wouldn't, especially when Michigan has such reliable free throw shooters in Brasdakis and Jordan Poole that are also adept at driving to the rim. A lot of pick and rolls here. Maybe look for Teskey rolling to the basket as well. He's had a good game so far finishing at the rim. Sometimes there's a game every once in a while where he just can't quite seem to finish, doesn't have the touch. He's had it here today, though.
Michigan on a 3-minute and 52-second scoring drought. Not what John Beilein wanted from his team, and they started this half so hot, 14 points in the first 4 minutes and nothing since. McQuaid's going to shoot 3 free throws off the 3-point foul by Poole. The first one goes. He went 1 of 3 in the first minute of the game when he was also fouled on a 3-pointer. He has 7 points so far. Second one also good. So it is now a tie game, 51-51, 11:50 to go. One more free throw for Matt McQuaid. 14 points for Cassius Winston, 13 for Kenny Goins, 10 for Xavier Tillman. And 10 for Matt McQuaid as the third one goes. 52-51, Michigan State leads for the first time since the first minute of the second half. Simpson brings it up. Working against Winston, gets a screen from Teskey. Now working against Kithier. Simpson gives to Brooks. Closing in on 10 seconds on the shot clock. Simpson swings it to Matthews. Matthews drives in against Henry. Tough defense from Henry. Teskey's going to grab the offensive rebound off an air ball from Matthews. Just 3 on the shot clock. Brooks a late 3. No good. Kithier comes up with the rebound.
That's tough right there. I know Charles Matthews can hit those fading away mid-range jumpers, but when you know how the refs are playing this game, you just got to take it strong to the rim and hope for the best there.
Cassius working against Brooks. Swings it to McQuaid on the outside. Working against Simpson. McQuaid's going to drive into the lane. Tries to get it to Kithier. Swings it up top to Cassius. Late in the shot clock, 5. Winston pulls up from mid-range. No good. Fight for the rebound. Teskey comes up with it. Simpson back the other way. 10:45 to go. Michigan State leads 52-51. Scoring has slowed now as we've gotten deeper into the second half. Simpson into the lane. Simpson all the way to the basket, and Simpson finishes. Easy little layup over Cassius Winston. 53-52 Michigan. 10:30 to go.
Xavier's been settling for outside shots quite often in this game, but that was his bread and butter last year against the Spartans, was just taking Cassius Winston off the bounce, and Winston was never able to contain him on the perimeter. Right there, he does it again.
Henry, good pass inside to the cutting Winston, and he finishes at the rim. So State goes back in front, 54-53, 10:05 to go. Eli Brooks brings it up for the Wolverines. Gives to Teskey. Teskey swings to the outside to Simpson. Simpson's going to stop, wide open for 3. No good. He hit 2 in the first half, but that one does not go. Winston back the other way. Wide open is Goins on the outside for 3. No good. Well short, but a good look for Kenny Goins. Xavier Simpson comes back now with it. Simpson to Teskey. Quick cut, and Teskey misses the layup. Slow to get up. Easy chance right there, and now wide open is Aaron Henry into the basket. Kenny Goins along the baseline gets an easy 2. 56-53, Michigan State leads.
The Spartans really excel in transition right there. They're able to find an open Goins. That's their game right there, and especially when Michigan's going to give them easy opportunities with Teskey laying down on the floor on the other end.
Simpson drives in, kicks out to Livers. You can tell this crowd is on edge. It's awfully quiet in here and a close game, a nervous crowd. Brooks drives in, kicks Simpson, another 3-pointer, in and out. So he's now 2 of 7 from 3 on the day. Is Xavier Simpson. 56-53, 8:45 to go as Winston brings the ball up.
Now you're talking about the crowd. There's quite a hearty groan when Xavier Simpson let that one loose. 3-point shooting, not exactly his game, and Michigan State has given him open opportunities for a reason.
Under 30% on the season, under 30% for his career. Henry, a tough little floater in the lane, no good. Simpson rockets one to Matthews, crosses over McQuaid, drive to the basket, and he got fouled, so he will shoot a 1-and-1. 8:22 to go, 56-53. That foul was on McQuaid. That's his third, so now 4 players with 3 for the Spartans.
And I don't know how on earth McQuaid was able to catch his feet there. It looked like Matthews had absolutely broken his ankles and was going to send him all the way to the floor, but McQuaid is able to put a hand on the ground, catch himself, and still able to contest that shot.
Matt McQuaid's such a good defender. He's also a good 3-point shooter. He's your prototypical 3-and-D. He's a senior guard for Tom Izzo, and he's had such a good career as Matthews makes the front end of the 1-and-1, cuts the lead to 2. Tom Izzo just absolutely loves Matt McQuaid and all that he brings to the team, and it might make opposing fans angry when he slaps the floor, but that's just the kind of energy that McQuaid has. And Matthews, good on both. It's back to a 1-point game, 56-55. John Beilein is going to take a timeout. He's got 2 left. Tom Izzo also has 2 left, so 55-56. Michigan State leads, 8:22 to go. Both teams in the bonus as we come down the stretch here, and we're going to have a lot more free throws in the last 8:22, but the scoring has really slowed in the last 7 or so minutes. Michigan 1 of 8 from the field, and Michigan State not too much better. They made up the deficit, but it was only 4.
Yeah, well, now something to look at here as well. It looked like Charles Matthews on that last play may have been a little bit hobbled after that one. Of course, he injured his ankle there in the first half, had to go to the locker room to get taped up, and now that could be an area of concern for the Wolverines. He may not be exactly excelling on the offensive end tonight, but his length, his tenacity on defense is really crucial to this team, and now that it's turning into a defensive slugfest, he would be a big loss for this team.
Charles Matthews, so important defensively. He's also one of the best for the Wolverines at creating his own shot. As you mentioned, he did go to the locker room early in the first half to get his ankle taped. He came back to the huddle, and then he was on the bench, or excuse me, on the bike behind the bench for quite a while, and then finally came back into the game for about the last 5 minutes of the half. So something to watch in the last 8:22 of this game as Matthews battles that ankle injury. And we talk about injuries. This Michigan State team is without Nick Ward. They're without Josh Langford, probably for the rest of the season for both of them. Ward broke his hand last Sunday when the Spartans were playing against Ohio State, and we won't get into how he may or may not have done it, but that's a huge loss the way he was playing for Michigan State.
Exactly, and the amount of depth on the front court that Michigan State has, for the Spartans, it'd be pretty similar for Michigan if John Teskey were out for the rest of the season. Really wasn't a true backup 5 for the Spartans. Tillman's done a good job there, but he played most of his minutes at the 4 alongside Ward during this season before that injury. And it'd be pretty much like Michigan having to go with Isaiah Livers as the 5 for the rest of the season. Obviously, Isaiah Livers is a good player, not a guy Michigan fans hate to see on the court, but if he's really having to carry that entire load, it'd be very tough, and that's exactly what Xavier Tillman has had to do for the Spartans. He's stepped up, he's done very well, but there's just not a lot of depth in that front court for Michigan State.
Michigan State just 37.5% from the field in this half after shooting 56% in the first half. Michigan, meanwhile, 33% from the field in this half. They started so hot, but nothing in the last 7 or so minutes. It'll be Michigan State ball out of the timeout. John Beilein trying to get a double timeout. Lots of coaches do this before the under 8 media timeout. Cassius brings it up. Under 8:20 to go. A double screen from Tillman and Goins. Now he swings it back to Goins. Working up top against Xavier Simpson. Gets another screen from Tillman. Brazdeikis left Tillman. Tillman not a great shooter the way Goins is, so he can do that. Now Cassius dumps into Tillman and an easy layup there. 58-55. Simpson brings it back up the other way. Gives to Livers. Livers to Poole. Poole to Simpson. Simpson working against Winston, now gives to Matthews. Matthews, 10 on the shot clock, drives in. Turnaround, step back, kicks out. 5 on the shot clock now. Jordan Poole was contested. Matthews with 2 on the shot clock, contested three-pointer off the rim, no good. Not a great offensive possession for the Wolverines.
That's tough right there. With Charles Matthews, when he gets in the paint, that's got to at least be a shot attempt, even if it's not a great one. Something in the paint is going to be better than whatever you create out on the perimeter with the shot clock ticking down.
Teskey immediately checks back into the scorer's table. Henry up top, closely guarded by Poole. He's going to drive, and they're going to call a foul on Jordan Poole, so it's going to be a one-on-one for Aaron Henry.
Team 7, Michigan State now in the bonus. Checking in for your Wolverines, number 15,
Henry's only shooting 63% from the line in Big Ten play, so maybe not the worst guy to follow right there.
Poole's second. And it looks like Cassius Winston and Jordan Poole getting into it a little bit verbally, and obviously with these two rivals, tensions are going to flare from time to time, and Referees are going to give them a talking to. Aaron Henry also gets a talking to, and now he will shoot the one-on-one. Frustrating game for Jordan Poole. He's just 3 of 8 from the field, 0 of 3 from behind the arc. Henry's first free throw of the one-on-one goes, so Michigan State now leads by 4, 59-55, 7:06 to go. Izzo calling Cassius Winston over, yells something at him, and Winston will head back out. McQuaid's going to check in for Henry, who makes both. 60-55, 7:06 to go. Michigan State in control right now. Michigan needs some good offensive possessions. They've made just one of their last 9 field goals, 0 for the last 4. Simpson working against Winston. Simpson thought about taking a three-pointer, gives to Brazdakis. Brazdakis has to kick back out after he tried to drive. Simpson gets a screen from Teskey, down to 10 on the shot clock once again. Swings it across. Brazdakis for 3 in the corner. No good. Teskey battling for the rebound, but Kenny Goins comes up with it, so 6.5 to go now. Michigan State still with a 5-point lead. Student section trying to get the crowd into it. Winston working against the double team. Dumps it into Tillman. He's going to send it back out for Winston. 10 on the shot clock now. Winston drives against Xavier Simpson all the way to the basket. Cassius Winston, another finish at the rim. He's got 18 points. Michigan State leads by 7.
Right there, Teskey's got to come over and help off of Tillman there. Tillman wasn't exactly standing right under the basket, and he's not a threat outside of the paint. That's got to be a situation right there where Teskey's contesting that shot.
Brazdakis drives to the basket. Little floater, no good. Teskey comes up with the rebound. Swings it out to Simpson. 5:45 to go. Wolverines trail by 7. They need offense, and they need it bad. Michigan State is on a 6-0 run. They lead by 7. Teskey to Simpson. Back to Teskey. Easy layup. That goes. Michigan really needed that one. Back to a 5-point game. 5.5 to go.
Great work by the big man right there. Saw the open lane, just dove to the basket. There's absolutely no one there to contest a shot.
Winston up top to Goins. Goins try to get it into Simpson. Now Henry with Tillman, and Tillman with an easy dunk as he got position on Teskey underneath. Back to 7. 64-57, plenty of time, but Michigan struggling offensively. 5:05 to go. Matthews driving against Henry. Drives back in. A great move inside, and it rims out. Tough miss for Charles Matthews, and Michigan State with a chance to push this to double digits with a three-pointer here. Kithier goes to the scorer's table to check in for the Spartans. Winston gets the screen from Tillman. Tillman has been dominant here in the second half. Winston has to throw it out to McQuaid. He wanted to get it to Tillman. Now McQuaid working on the elbow. Dribbles, swings it across. Kenny Goins 4-3. In and out, no good. Would have been huge for Michigan State. Simpson back the other way. Under 4.5 to go. State still by 7. Simpson to Poole, back to Simpson. Closing in on the 4-minute mark. We're at 4:15 to go in the second half. Stagnant offense for the Wolverines. Simpson to Matthews up top. Back to Simpson. Drives into the lane. He is fouled by Xavier Tillman, and that's huge because that's Xavier Tillman's 4th, and he has really keyed this Spartan offense down the stretch. So 4:05 to go. It's going to be 2 shots for Xavier Simpson. Kithier is going to come in for Xavier Tillman.
Yeah, good work by Simpson to finally get something going there, but really what's been making this Michigan offense struggle is the fact that Simpson and Teskey are trying to run a pick and roll, and Cash Winston is just dropping way below that screen, daring Simpson to shoot a 3.
Simpson's free throw rattles around the rim but goes in, so it's a 6-point game now. 64-58, 5:05 to go. Tillman does head to the bench with 4 fouls. Izzo frustrated with him. Simpson a chance to cut it to 5 with the second free throw. He's 3 of 3 on the day. 15 points for Simpson, and he misses, so it remains a 6-point game. 64-58, 4 minutes to go in the game. Michigan trails by 6. Winston, screen from Kithier. Winston into the lane, nearly lost it, nearly lost his feet, but it gets it to Henry, who gives it back to Simpson. Another screen from Kithier. Cassius nearly lost the ball again. Good defense from Matthews. McQuaid gives him somewhere to go with it. McQuaid's mid-range shot rattles around the rim and in. 8-point lead now for the Spartans. 3.5 to go.
Now it looks like Michigan's going to go right back. All right, now the ball is in the hands of Jordan Poole. That's what I like to see. Get this pick and roll going with someone besides Simpson so they can't just lay off.
Poole swings to Brazdakis. Brazdakis drives in. Shot is blocked by Kithier. Going to hit the under 4 media timeout. 3:17 to go in this game. Michigan State leads by 8, and Michigan's offense has disappeared in most of this second half, and it's not looking great for the Wolverines right now.
Sure isn't, and at this point, I don't know what Michigan's got to do. They've got to get back into their normal half-court offense where the ball's moving around. There's a whole lot of Xavier Simpson dribbling, getting the ball screen from John Teskey, and then it's the same thing every time. Cash drops way down. It goes underneath that screen. There's a three-point shot open for Simpson. He does not want to shoot it. He keeps refusing to shoot it, and then just nothing comes of it. And then they keep just trying to do that action. It's not working. They got to get something going where the entire team's involved rather than just a two-man game right now.
You got to give credit to Michigan State. They have struggled in their last few games. They trailed at halftime against Rutgers. They played a close game against Ohio State before pulling away late. They played a close game at Wisconsin, but this team has been excellent today defensively, and Cassius Winston, 18 points, 8 assists, just 3 turnovers. He also has 2 steals, and he has played every single minute of this game. An incredible performance from Winston. Kenny Goins has 15 points. McQuaid, 12 for the Wolverines. Simpson has 15. Brazdakis, 14. Teskey, 10. Just 4 points for Charles Matthews, 1 of 7 from the field. 9 points for Jordan Poole, but 3 of 8 from the field. And the Wolverines 5 of 19 from behind the arc.
Well, and that three-point shooting has been a problem for Michigan today. At least neither team's making any threes, but I'd like to see Charles Matthews right now. He looks he doesn't look 100%. He has not played well so far today. Gotta think John Beilein's weighing putting in Isaiah Livers instead. I know Charles Matthews has been a big part of this program. He's been a huge player in big games for Michigan so far this year, but this does not look like his day. And Michigan needs shooting out on the floor right now, and Isaiah Livers gives them that.
Michigan State leads 66-58, 3:17 to go. Michigan just 1 of their last 9 field goals. Meanwhile, Michigan State 4 of their last 5 field goals. After this one, the Spartans will go to Indiana next Saturday, and then they'll finish with Nebraska and Michigan at home on Tuesday, March 5th, and Saturday, March 9th. Nate and I will be at the second round of this rivalry matchup at Breslin. That one time still to be determined. It'll likely be a 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. tip-off from the Breslin on Saturday the 9th. Meanwhile, Michigan also plays Nebraska. They play Nebraska this Thursday night. We'll have that call. YouTube.com/WCBN Sports, as well as on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor. And then after that, Michigan goes to Maryland next Sunday. A really tough finish for the season. They go to Maryland and then to Michigan State. And so it's not getting any easier for the Wolverines. Nebraska should be a pretty easy win on senior night, even though this team doesn't have any seniors. But after that, 2 tough road games. So Michigan will inbound from underneath.
What is the team going to do on senior night?
I've heard they could potentially honor Charles Matthews as he's academically a senior. Brazdakis drives in, 66-60. Here comes the crowd. 3 minutes to go. Michigan State leads 66-60. Winston up top to Goins. Tight defense from Brazdakis. Michigan needs a stop. McQuaid back to Goins, open for 3, contested late by Brazdakis. Battle for the rebound. Teskey tipped it to McQuaid, and they're going to call foul on Jordan Poole, who knocked it away from McQuaid, but McQuaid will shoot in 1-1.
Michigan foul is number 2, Jordan Poole.
And Jordan Poole definitely did get the hand of McQuaid there as he was trying to slap it out. That's a pretty clear foul. And now McQuaid, a good free throw shooter. I believe he's shooting over 80% on the year. That's 82% in conference play.
And it rattles around the rim and in, so Michigan State goes up 7, 67-60, 2:46 to go. Xavier Simpson in the lane, giving directions to each of his guys. Looks like Jordan Poole's getting another talking to from the ref. He was not happy with that reach and call. Isaiah Livers going to the scorer's table to check in. McQuaid's second free throw, no good. Brazdakis comes up with the rebound. That's his 8th rebound of the game. Michigan trails by 7, 2:40 to go. Simpson gives to Charles Matthews, to Teskey, to Brazdakis. Back to Jordan Poole. Poole working against Kithier. Wants a three-pointer, gets a three-pointer, no good. Struggling still with his shot. McQuaid got the ball. It looked like he stepped out of bounds, but no call. He passes it in to Kenny Goins, and Winston back the other way. This one's slipping away from Michigan.
That's a tough call right there on that out of bounds, but that's just an awful shot by Jordan Poole. To jab step a couple of times and then pull up from 3 after no movement. That's just not what Michigan needs right now.
Winston to Goins, back to Winston. 10 on the shot clock. They're going to call a blocking foul on Brazdakis. So Cassius is going to shoot a 1-and-1. That's going to be the last 1-and-1 for either team, as each team now has 9 team fouls, so it's double bonus the rest of the way for both sides. Livers checked in the game for Teskey. Xavier Tillman with his 4 fouls checks back in. Winston also a good free throw shooter. Front end of the 1-and-1, good for Winston, so the lead is back to 8. 68-60, 2:03 to go. Cassius Winston has been incredible today. 19 points, 7 of 13 from the field, 5 of 5 from the free throw line. 8 assists to go along with the scoring. Winston makes both, so it's 9, Michigan State's largest lead of the day. Poole inbounds to Simpson. 2 minutes ago, Simpson gives to Brazdakis, up top to Livers, now to Matthews. Michigan needs offense from somewhere. Poole against Tillman to Livers. Brazdakis, tough three-pointer, no good. Xavier Tillman, the rebound, gives it to Cassius Winston. In 1:45 to go. Michigan State by 9 in full control. Winston working against Xavier Simpson. 15 on the shot clock. Another bucket would be a dagger. Great pass out to Goins. Wide open is Henry in the corner. No good from 3.
Poole's open up ahead. They're not finding him.
Brazdakis driving in. Kicks out to Charles Matthews. Fumbled the ball. Matthews a very contested three-pointer. Not a great shot right there. Henry tips it to Goins, to Winston. 1:10, and it looks like Michigan is not going to foul. Clock ticking down. It's going to be Michigan's first home loss of the season. 4th loss overall. They'll fall to 24-4, 13-4 in conference play. Pretty much rules out the possibility of winning the Big Ten in the regular season. Meanwhile, Michigan State will improve to 23-5. Blocking foul on the side for Isaiah Livers, so 2 more free throws for Cassius Winston. Michigan State will improve to 14-3 in conference. It's pretty much going to be down to them and Purdue for the Big Ten regular season title.
At the line is shooting 2 from the Spartans, number 5, Cassius Winston.
And Michigan led 51-45. Early in the second half, they came out so well, and since then, they've been outscored 24-9 over the last nearly 15 minutes of this game. Cassius Winston, 2 more free throws here. No good on the first, so it remains a 9-point game, 50.8 to go. Winston's second free throw. That does go, so a 10-point lead, the first double-digit lead for either team so far. Winston quickly to Brazdakis. Simpson drives in, layup goes. Quick timeout from John Beeline, so 70-62. Xavier Simpson with a quick layup. It's an 8-point game again, 44.7, and John Beeline's going to set up some kind of trap defense.
Well, we'll see. To kind of wave the white flag there and then call a timeout seems like a weird time. Maybe start putting up a fight.
Crowd is flooding to the exits. The upper bowl student section is clearing out. It's going to be about maybe 2/3, half empty by the time that this timeout ends, and a tough loss for the Wolverines for sure. It'll also impact Big Ten tournament seeding. Probably knocks the Wolverines down to 3rd or 4th when it's all said and done, and NCAA tournament seeding as well. This loss probably rules out any shot of a number 1 seed for the Wolverines, so now they're looking at a 2 or 3 seed. This is the 3rd time that Michigan and Michigan State had met when they were both ranked in the top 10. North Carolina and Duke, of course, have met 46 times, both ranked in the top 10. That's the highest ever, but Michigan State with an excellent performance today as it's tipped away by Charles Matthews. Jordan Poole comes up with it for 3. Jordan Poole for 3! All of a sudden, it's a 5-point game. John Beeline's going to take another timeout, and 5 quick points for the Wolverines. It was 10 just a second ago. It's 70-65, so Jordan Poole, who's played one of the worst games of his career, he started 0-4 from 3, 3 of 9 from the field. Off the steal, hits a 3-pointer. So it's a 5-point game. Now Michigan State's going to have to do a little bit better inbounding the ball this time. Excellent defensive play there by Charles Matthews.
Absolutely. My, oh my, what a shot by Jordan Poole there. Hadn't made a 3 this entire game. He hits that one off one leg, fading away with a pretty good contest put up there.
People head back to their seats now.
I was going to say, when we wrapped up this game, that when Michigan needed offense and they were stagnating there in the second half, absolutely no one stood up. Well, I don't know if I can say that anymore because Jordan Poole just stepped up in a big way right there.
So 40 seconds on the clock. Michigan cannot play defense. They absolutely will have to foul if they can't get a steal off the inbound, but a good trap set up there by Luke Yaklich, and John Beeline will give it one more shot here. 70-65, 40.2 seconds to go. Both teams in the double bonus. No Teskey for the Wolverines. It's Poole, Livers, Simpson, Matthews, and Brazdakis. Tillman, McQuaid, Winston, Ahrens, and Goins for the Spartans. It's going to be Goins inbounding. Crowd gets into it once again. Gets it to Winston. Nearly stolen by Xavier Simpson. And it's going to be a foul on Xavier Simpson. It's going to be a foul on Jordan Poole, actually. 4th personal foul for him, and John Beeline not happy with the call. Not sure if Poole got a piece of Winston's arm, but Xavier Simpson nearly had the steal there. 38.8. Winston's going to shoot 2. He missed 1 last time.
I have no idea what the call is because the ref made like a juggling signal.
Winston, nothing but net on the free throw. He's now 8 of 9 on the day. He's got 22 points.
Interesting that Beeline would go with Teskey for an offensive possession. I think he'd rather just have Livers in there as a more reliable 3-point shooter.
Winston rattles off the front rim, off the backboard and in. Simpson quickly to Poole. Poole comes off his screen. Deep contested 3-pointer. Jordan Poole! Oh my goodness, Jordan Poole. We know he's great in late situations. Winston gets the ball, he gets trapped, and he fell over, and they're going to call foul right away. These refs have not stopped calling fouls all game long. Jordan Poole, there's just something about this kid that does not faze him when it gets into the last minute of games. Obviously hit the buzzer beater against Houston to send Michigan to the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament last year. Back-to-back 3-pointers here, cuts the lead to 4. Cassius Winston will shoot 2 more.
Yeah, where on earth were these Jordan Poole threes about 5 or 10 minutes ago?
He started 0-4 from 3. He's now made his last 2. Winston, nothing but not on another free throw, so it's a 5-point game. But regardless of what happens here, another three-pointer would cut it to one possession. You would think Michigan would try to get Jordan Poole another look. Winston, good on both, so it's a 6-point game, 30.1 to go. Matthews to Simpson to Brazdakis. Poole off a screen.
He tries to draw the foul.
Nearly goes in, tried to draw the foul. Winston's fouled, now 20.1, that's going to be pretty much it. Then Poole thought he got fouled by Xavier Tillman on the three-point attempt. Nearly still made it, but Winston, 2 more free throws coming up as Poole could not get the miracle shot to go. And pretty good straight-up defense there from Xavier Tillman to just hold his arms up, hold his body. Winston's free throw goes. It's now a 7-point game, 75-68, 20.1 to go.
And you can only try to draw the free throws on a 3-point shot attempt when a player leaves their feet. That's right there. You just got to try to go for something different. You can't just throw yourself into an opponent and get a foul call.
Winston, another clutch free throw. Tom Izzo is going to take a timeout. He leads by 8 with 20.1 to go. Izzo does have 1 remaining timeout after this one, but Michigan at this point needs a miracle, and give all credit to Michigan State. They played excellent, but like you said, Jordan Poole really struggled all game long, and then two great three-point shots at the end, but this Wolverines team's offense just sputtered for much of the second half, and not what you want if you're John Beilein, and for a team whose weakness has clearly been the offense. That showed once again today in the second half. .39% from the field for the Wolverines, 28% from behind the arc. Michigan State won the turnover battle. They had just 6 to the Wolverines 9. Michigan led the rebounding battle 18-12 at the half, but Michigan State has dominated the glass in the second half. 32-31 is now where the rebounding battle stands. Both teams getting a lot of offensive rebounds. Michigan with 12, Michigan State with 8. We had 16 lead changes. Michigan State did lead for 21-57 of this game, more than half the game, but Cassius Winston, 27 points. He's been clutch from the free throw line, 13 of 14, 8 assists. Just too much for the Wolverines to handle from start to finish, really, for Cassius Winston. 20.1, Michigan State going to put some pressure on the ball to try to make them take more time. Simpson inbounds, Poole gets a screen. Poole's just going to pull up for 3 from the corner, in and out. Good look, and Kenny Goins comes up with it. He's fouled by Brazdakis, and that is just about it. 13.6 to go. 2 fouls coming up for Kenny Goins. Brazdakis is 4th. 16 fouls total in the game for Michigan State, 18 total for Michigan. It was a tight whistle in the second half, to put it kindly. Goins' free throw does not go. 1 more for Kenny Goins. So again, Michigan State will go to Indiana. Michigan hosts Nebraska this week in each of their next games. Simpson brings it up. Going to drive all the way to the rim. And a meaningless 2 points there. Cassius Winston is going to dribble out the clock. It's going to be 77-70 final score. Michigan State defeats Michigan at Crisler. They improve to 23-5, 14-3 in the Big Ten. Michigan falls to 24-4, 13-4 in the Big Ten. Their first home loss of the season, and a huge win for Tom Izzo's Spartans, and a really tough loss for Beilein's Wolverines.
Absolutely, and it's hard to put any blame on this one other than the team. I mean, the refs were tough this game, but they were tough for both teams, really calling everything. MSU ended up shooting about 9 more free throws, so that was just because of what was happening there at the end of the game. I would have liked to see what happened in this game if there's more of a flow to that second half without everything being called a foul, but at least it was going both ways.
Michigan State led by 2 at halftime. Michigan went up 51-45 early in the second half, and then the offense just kind of disappeared for much of that second half, and Michigan State gets the win. So that'll be all from us. Michigan hosts Nebraska for what's a de facto senior night, despite the team not having any seniors on Thursday night, and we'll have that game for you as always. YouTube.com/WCBN Sports, as well as on air on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor. That's going to be all for us. For Nick Hornburg and Andy Laidlaw, along with Nate Sorensen, I'm Evan Oesterle. Michigan State defeats Michigan 77-70. Good night and go blue.